What's up, guys? Russell here again. Just thought I'd do a review of Jeff Clark of Delta Trader. Many of you guys will have seen this guy on ads all over Facebook and YouTube as well. And honestly, I don't know what all the fuss is about. He doesn't seem very good to me. I wrote this review back in, wow, quite a while ago now, December 27, 2019. And I've just getting around to doing a review on him now. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. I do tons of different stock alert services like reviewing them, testing them out, and a whole bunch of stock alerts and option services are pretty good. I tend to focus on the better ones. Occasionally, I come across ones that I think are good, and then people in the comments tell me that they're a load of garbage. So that is exactly what happened with this article. So I'll explain as I go down. So when I go down and show you like this guy. So Jeff Clark, he is a super experienced trader. I came across him quite a while ago now, and he basically just does options, but he does options that are extremely risky and extremely aggressive. So I'll show some examples of that in a little bit. I really thought he was quite good when I first came across him. I checked out some of his videos. Let me show you one that I embedded in here. Yeah, so I went on YouTube. You can go on and hear some like discussions with them, and he comes across pretty well. So initially, I thought this guy was definitely worth checking out. Partly because he's been trading for so long, so 36 years, and he claims to have made a fortune by trading options. No reason not to believe him, but nothing is verified, so it's hard to be sure whether he's just talking out his behind or not. So apparently he got lucky in his first ever trade with options at 19, made over $1,000 in his first trade and was like completely hooked at that point. He has a decent track record. Apparently he's even done a university course for traders. I've never heard of that before. I haven't looked into it. Maybe it's something you guys could investigate if you are considering signing up, which I don't highly recommend that you do at this point, and I'll show you why. So he doesn't trade very much, so only a couple of trades a month. So sometimes only one trade a month or so, 10 trades per year. He claims that these are his absolute favorite picks, so he's saying that he's like being a real sniper here and just picking the absolute best. And most of them do return apparently over 100%. So far, I'm not convinced that's a true statement. In fact, I'll show you his profit loss stuff in a minute. He doesn't seem to make 100% very often, but claims that most of them do. So kind of found out a discrepancy there. So let's go to his website. So here's his track record for his different programs. So he has these different programs. Jeff Clark Trader's only like 19 bucks a year or something. So you can kind of get a taste for him. And if you are going to sign up for this aggressive options trading, I would suggest going with the cheap one first. Here's his gains and loss on the right hand side. So the dates here are, this is pretty recent, like just about a month ago he closed out this position and he did make 100% on it. But look at this previous one, he lost 100%, then he made 75%, then minus 100, 3% profits, minus 100, 128%, 600, minus 1. See, that had a better run here, but then there's another minus 100. 30 minus 33 minus 100 minus 100 minus 100 minus 100 minus 100 minus 100. You get the point. So overall, this guy isn't as profitable as you'd think. This is his biggest win, 269%. Here I'm assuming that all of these positions are a similar position size, and if that's the case, then this is not that impressive a track record. And I can see why a lot of the negative reviews appear online, because imagine you start trading with him for 2 months, like so here from the 28th to the 19th of June, so a couple months here, and the first two that you pick are this one goes to zero, this one goes to zero. You're like, okay, maybe the next one. Nope, it goes down 33%. Okay, I'm not liking the service very much, you'd say to yourself. And then he hits another 100% loser. Then you go online and basically this guy's a complete fraud. So you can imagine people would be pretty annoyed about that. And that's the same with all these services, is you have to stick with them longer term. Otherwise, if you just take a snapshot of a couple of trades, they can be either really good trades that the guy's hitting or really bad. So I'm not too surprised that mid last year I started to see a whole bunch of reviews very negative reviews about him. You can look those up as well. They're on like Stock Gumshoe and things like that. But then before, it was like he was getting better reviews. So maybe like if people had done these few months, they would have left a really, really good review. So that's one of his programs, Jeff Clark Trader. The Delta Report is more expensive. Looking at the track record for the Delta Report, it maybe looks a little better, but there's still runs of like huge losses. Um, Maybe a few more runs of gains. This is a much more extensive track record, though. It goes all the way back to 2017. So this kind of his full track record. Now, of course, this isn't verified, but a quick glance kind of tells me that this is probably legit. I mean, he doesn't seem to be hiding losses here. There's a ton of big losses. So he seems to be honest when it comes to losing trades, which is always something I look for. And this guy seems to be at least honest on his trade record, as far as I can see. Would be nice to see his broker accounts, but let's face it, most of these guys will never show that, no matter how much you push them. So, anyway, um, so his Jeff Clark Delta report is the one that he pushes the most, and it's like his premium service. So he sends out an option trade alert and research every week. Um, so he seems to do some good research. His strategy seems to be overbought, sorry, oversold. So, like if something's moved down massively, he'll try and take an option, like a call option on it. Or if it's moved up massively, he'll take a put option, betting that it will go down. So, I mean, overbought and oversold snapback type strategies are well accepted to be pretty good. It can be hard to get the bottom or the top exactly, so that's definitely a risk that you take with this type of strategy. He is super aggressive though, so it's really not my style. So I won't be taking any of his trades. Super aggressive options trades really, it's just crazy. You have to use very small position sizes if you are okay taking 100% loss, which he does regularly. So it's nice to have a schedule. These buy alerts go out on Tuesday mornings for the Delta report, so that's kind of cool. You can get ready for that. You don't have to, you know, watch your email all the time and just randomly get alerts. Honestly, though, like from what I've seen on this guy, there is better options out there. So it costs $5,000 a year for the Jeff Clark Delta report, which is way too steep for what it is. Especially if you're not, comfortable taking 100% losses. You'd be really, really annoyed paying this kind of money for a service, especially since there's much lower cost services, like Greg Manarino's free, so he'll send out free emails. You can go and watch this video on the channel, and he basically gives you stuff for free. So why would you pay $5,000 a year to Jeff Clark? I'm okay paying $100 or $300 a year for some good options trades. People like Jeff Bishop's Bullseye, like that was only a few hundred a year. And if you are careful with that trade every Monday morning, then you will make money uh, in a much shorter time than Jeff Clark does, and you'll never lose 100% on that type of thing. So I feel like it's really not worth the money. Um, I just don't. It's just not worth it. I think even if you're an awesome options trader, I don't think you'll get much out of this. So initially, I wrote this article. I was quite positive about him just from what I was learning and listening to him and checking him out. But really, I don't recommend Jeff Clark anymore. And one of the main reasons for that is when I published this article, I basically found that I got the most negative comments that I've ever seen. So if we scroll down to the comments, the way down here. So I've been doing this for about 5 years on various blogs where I review stock alert services. And this is by far the most negative feedback on an article that I've ever had. So you can read some of these. I'll link this Jeff Clark Delta Trader article as well if you want to go and look through it a little bit and read some of these comments. But the main problem seems to be that they really can't seem to get cancellations, and it seems to be there's charges coming onto people's credit cards. So you can see that pretty much every single comment here is either thanks for warning me or people saying like in all capital letters how bad this is. So based on that, I really can't recommend this service as something that you'd want to look at. Um, so refund problems. I was stuck in $1,700. Cancel account within 10 days. Um, Apparently, the Delta presented some fake documents showing that no cash refund is part of the deal, which is not true. Um, so, with all these negative reviews, I always take them with a huge pinch of salt because people tend to get really up on their high horses about stuff. And I haven't read the fine print, so maybe this guy wasn't entitled, or maybe he was, to a refund. Hard to say. People are crazy. That's what I've learned. So never take anything with, take everything with a pinch of salt because honestly, you've no idea who this guy is. It could be anybody. Made so I leave this post and a gratitude that at least one. From calculations, I made $5,000 in one beat. Oh, this is a spam thing. This is one of these scam things that that's funny. Let's see, very dishonest, 60-day refund trial. They called all the trades were big losers. Um, okay, and in that period of time that I was showing you, that's where there was some losing trades, especially mid 2020. So I need to go back and check that, but it seems like an honest comment. Um, you'll never get rich trading three stocks per month. Thanks for the heads up. Sounds too good to be true. It really doesn't sound too good to be true, in my opinion. Looking at his track record and his 100% losers every few weeks or every few months, he isn't claiming to turn you into a millionaire or anything. So honestly, I don't really agree with that. Jeff and others at Palm Beach are scam artists. All these accusations of scams, you see it all the time, and some of them might be true, and some of them are definitely not true, um, kind of things. So yeah. So based on these horrendous negative comments, I really, really, really wouldn't suggest this unless you are desperate to be, okay with 100% losers, which I don't know anybody that would be. There's far better strategies out there, so I wouldn't bother signing up for this. Just my opinion. You can go through and maybe buy his like really cheap program and just watch some of his picks. Maybe he will go on a really nice winning streak or something. So yeah, you can see these comments are this is a lot of comments. I generally don't get that many comments on the blogs. So to get this many and pretty much all of them saying this is terrible, well, all of them saying this is really bad, I really don't recommend joining Jeff Clark, Delta Trader. So I hope that's helpful. I hope it helps people avoid wasting their money. Um, there's plenty better services. Just check through this YouTube channel, and you will find that some of the services are a fraction of the price, and I found them to be a lot better than Jeff Clark Delta Trader. So, okay, with that, we'll catch you guys later, and thanks again for listening.